Howdy, y'all. Swan, Marion, the bookworm cowboy here. Here to read some more of the Kane Chronicles, Serpents Shadow by Rick Riordan. Let's put on some other kinds of music. Chapter 6. Amos plays with action figures. His name was Leonid, and we agreed not to kill each other. We sat on the steps of the gazebo and talked a while. The students and teachers struggled to wake up around us. Leonid's English was not good. My Russian was non-existent, but I understood enough of his story to be alarmed. He'd escaped the Russian realm and somehow convinced Shu to whisk him here to find me. Leonid remembered me from our invasion of the Hermitage. Apparently, I'd made a strong impression on the young man. No surprise, I am rather memorable. Oh, stop laughing, Carter! Using words, hand gestures, and sound effects, Leonid tried to explain what had happened in St. Petersburg since the death of Vlad Menshikov. Couldn't follow it all, but this much I understood. Why, Jacoby, Apophis, first known many deaths soon, very soon. Teachers were corralling students and calling parents. Apparently they feared the mass blackout might have been caused by bad punch or hazardous gas, used perfume perhaps, and they decided to evacuate the area. I suspected we'd have police and paramedics on the scene shortly. Wanted to be gone before then. I dragged Leonid over to meet my brother, who was stumbling around, rubbing his eyes. What happened? I asked, the scout at Leonid. Who? I gave him a 1 minute version. 1 minute version. Anubis' visit, Shu's intervention, the Russians' appearance. Leonid has information about an impending attack on the first known, I said. The others will be after him. Calder scratched his head. You want to hide him at Brooklyn House? No, I said. I got to take him to Amos straight away. Leonid said. Amos. Jacoby said, his face. Amos wouldn't want to keep your face. I said, Jacoby's been telling you stories. Leonid looked on you. Amos not become sick. I did things I was making it sound worse. I didn't know the correct Russian for. He was possessed by Seth, but it wasn't his fault, and he's much better now. No Seth, I said. Good Amos. Carter studied the Russian. He just looked at me with concern. Sadie, what if this is a trap? You trust this guy? Oh, I can handle Leonid. He doesn't want me to morph into a balloon amateur. It was long before I could go but I said, do you, Leonid? Yeah. Leonid said solemnly. No bananas, like.
Oh, there. Well done, Patsy. Well done.
There,
Hello?
you see?
Hello?
What about visiting Tom? Carter asked. That can't wait. I saw the worry in his eyes. I imagine he was thinking the same thing I was. Our mom was in trouble, spirits of the dead were disappearing, and it had something to do with the shadow of Apophis. He had to find the connection. You visit Toth, I said. Take Walt, and keep an eye on him, alright? And he was wanting to tell me something about him, but there wasn't time. And in Dallas, when I looked at it, I had nothing to do what? Couldn't make myself finish. Just thinking about Walt Rat and money and brought tears to my eyes.
What is it you want? I am looking for men.
Fortunately, Carter seemed to get the general idea. I'll keep him safe. How do you get to Egypt? I pondered. Egypt has been to here via shoe airways. I doubted that fussy aviator god would be willing to help me, and I didn't want to ask. We'll risk a portal, I said. I know they've been a bit wonky. It's just one quick step. Then what could go wrong? It could materialize inside a wall, Carter said, or when it wind up scattered through the world in a million pieces. Why, Carter, you care, but really we'll be fine, and we haven't got much choice. I gave him a quick hug. I know, horribly sentimental, but I wanted to show solidarity. Then before I could change my mind, I took me into town and raced across campus. My head was still spinning from my talk with Anubis. How dare Isis and Horus keep us apart when we weren't even together? What had Anubis wanted to tell me about Walt? Perhaps he'd wanted to end our ill affiliation and give me his blessings for me to date Walt. Lame. But perhaps he wanted to declare his undying love and sacrifice for my affection. I'd be lucky, nor would I appreciate being fought over like a basketball. Or perhaps more close, he wanted to make some bad news. Anubis had visited the Walt on several occasions that I knew of. They both been rather turbulent about what was discussed, but since Anubis was the guide of the dead, I assumed that he'd been clearing Walt for death. Anubis might have wanted to warn me that the time was now, as if I needed another reminder. Anubis, often, Walt, at death's door. I lost both the guys I liked well. There wasn't much fun in saving the world. Alright, that was a slight exaggeration, but only slight. On top of that, my mom was in trouble, and Sarah Jacoby's rebels were planning some horrible attack on my uncle's headquarters. Why then did I feel so hopeful? The idea started to tug at me. Any glimmer of possibility. It wasn't just the prospect that we might find a way to defeat the serpent. Anubis' words kept playing in my mind. Shadow lingers. There must be a way to retrieve a soul from oblivion. If a shadow could be used to bring back a mortal soul that had been destroyed, could it do the same for a god? I was so lost in thought, I barely noticed when we reached the fine arts building. The unit stopped me. Is this a portal? He pointed it to a block of carved limestone in the courtyard. Yes, I said, thanks. Long story short, when I started that bag, I reckoned it would be good to have an Egyptian relic close by for emergencies. So I did the logical thing. I bought a chunk of limestone frieze from the nearby Brooklyn Museum. Honestly, the museum had enough walls. I didn't think they missed this one. I left the facsimile in its place and asked Lisa to present the actual Egyptian frieze to her object as and attempt to simulate an ancient art form. Richard had been duly impressed when he installed the Lisa's artwork in the courtyard outside the castle. The carving showed mourners at a funeral, which I thought appropriate for a school setting. It wasn't a powerful or important piece of art, but all relics of ancient Egypt have some amount of power, like magical batteries. The right training and magician can use them to jumpstart spells that would otherwise be impossible, such as opening portals. I got rather good at this particular magic. Leonid watched my back as I began to chant. Most of magicians wait for auspicious moments to open gates. They spent years memorizing a timetable of important anniversaries, like the time of day each god was born, alignment of the stars and whatnot. I suppose I should have worried about such things, but I've been given the thousands of years of ancient history, Egyptian history. There were so many auspicious moments that I simply chanted until I hit one. Of course, I had to let my portal being open during an inauspicious moment. That would have caused all sorts of nasty side effects. But what's life without taking a few risks? Father is shaking his head and muttering. I have no idea why. The air rippled in front of us. A secret doorway appeared, a swirling vortex of golden sand. A Leonid and I jumped through. I'd like to say the spell worked perfectly and we ended up in the first gnome. Sadly, I was a bit off the mark. The portal spit us out roughly a few hundred meters above Cairo. I found myself free falling through the moonlight air towards the city lights below. I didn't panic. I could have cast a number of spells to get out of this situation. I could have even assumed the form of the kite, a bird of prey, not the kind with the string. Although that wasn't my favorite way to travel. Before I could decide on a plan of action, Leonid grabbed my hand. The direction of the wind changed. Suddenly we were gliding over the city in a controlled descent. We sat down softly in the desert, just outside the city limits, near a cluster of ruins that I knew from experience had an entrance to the first known. I looked at Leonid in amazement. Shoo! This is on the car of Shoo! Shoo! He said grimly. Yes, that's the same. I do. Forbidden. I smiled with delight. You clever boy! I learned the path of the gods. You learned the path of the gods on your own. I know there was a reason I didn't turn you into a banana slug. Leonid's eyes went, no banana slug. It was a compliment, silly. Forbidden is good. Sadie likes forbidden. Come on now. You need to be my uncle. No doubt, Carter would describe the underground city in excruciating detail, with exact measurements of each room, boring history on every statue and hieroglyph, and background notes on the construction of the magical headquarters of the House of Life. I will spare you that, babe. It's big, it's full of magic. It's underground. There, at the bottom of the entry tunnel, we crossed a stone bridge over a chasm. Where I was challenged by a bar, the glowing bird spirit, with the head of a famous Egyptian I probably should have known, asked me a question. What are the colors of the eyes of Anubis? Brown. So, I suppose you're trying to trick me with an easy question. The bar last passed into the city proper. I hadn't visited in 6 months, and I was distressed to see how few magicians were about. The first time has never been crowded. Egyptian men.
And so, King Arthur gathered 4 knights together, bringing from all the corners of the kingdom the strongest and bravest in the land.
And Egyptian magic had withered over the centuries as fewer and fewer young initiates learned the arts. But now, most shops in the central cavern were closed. At the market stalls, no one was haggling about the prices of tongues or scorpion venom. A bored-looking ambulance salesman perked up as we approached his front as we passed by. Footsteps echoed in the silent tunnels. We crossed one of the subterranean rivers, then wound our way through the library corridor in the Chamber of Birds. Carter says I should tell you why it's called that. It's a cave full of all sorts of birds. Again, duh. Carter, why are you banging your head against the table? I brought my Russian friend down a long corridor, past the sealed tunnel that had once led up to the Sphinx of Giza. Finally to the bronze door of the Hall of Ages. Here's my uncle's hall now, so I strode right in. You press in place? Certainly, if you feel that if it's water and stuff, it would have been large for a pot of whales. Running down the middle, a long blue carpet curved like the river Nile. Along either side marched rows of columns. In between them, symmetric curtains of white spring scenes from Egypt's past, all sorts of horrible, wonderful, heart-wrenching events. I tried to avoid looking at them. I knew from experience that those images could be dangerously absorbing. Once I'd made the mistake of touching the lights, the experience would at all turn my brain into oatmeal. First section of light was gold, the age of the gods. Farther along, the old kingdom glowed silver, then the middle kingdom was coppery brown, and so on. Several times as I walked, I had to lean it back from the scenes that caught his eye. Honestly, I wasn't much better. I got teary-eyed when I saw a vision of the best entertaining the other gods by doing cartwheels in the loincloth. I cried because I missed seeing him so full of life. I mean, though the sight of Bess in the loincloth is enough to make anyone's eyes burn. We passed the bronze curtain of light for the new kingdom. I stopped abruptly. In the shifting mirage, a thin man in priestly robes held up one of the knife over a black bull. The man muttered as if blessing the animal. Couldn't tell much about the scene. I recognized the man's face. Peaky nose. High sword, thin lips that twisted in the wicked smile as he ran the knife along the poor animal's throat. That's him, I muttered. I walked toward the curtain of light. Yet! He grabbed my hand. You tell me the lights are bad, stay away. You're right. I said, but that's Uncle Vinny. I was positive it was the same face that had appeared in the wall of the Dallas Museum. But how could that be? She knows that that must have happened thousands of years ago. Not Vinny, Tina said. How much that? Yeah. Sorry? I wasn't sure if I'd heard him correctly or if he was language he spoke. Is that a name? He either couldn't possess him. Inside an exploration. Too difficult to explain. Let's see Amos who will not be my face. Will not be my face? I forced myself to look away from the images. Good idea. Let's keep going. At the end of the hall, the curtains of red light for the monument changed dark purple. This marked the beginning of the new age, which will none of us knew exactly what the era would be. If the prophets destroyed the world, I guess it will be the age of extremely short lives. I'd expected to see Amos singing at the front foot of the Pharaoh's throne. That wasn't the traditional place of watching. Symbolized the role of the Pharaoh's main advisor. While the Pharaoh really needed advisors, and they'd all been dead for several thousands of years. The diet was empty. As empty. I never considered where the chief lecturer hung out when it wasn't on display. Do you have a dressing room? Brett Rossi was the name of the little star on the door. There! Leonard pointed. Once again, my clever Russian friend was right. On the back wall, behind the throne, faint lights shone along the floor. The bottom edge of a door. Creepy side, beautiful entrance. I said, well done, Leonid. On the other side, she found a sort of war room. Amos and the young woman in camouflage clothes stood at opposite ends of a large table inlaid for color wilderness. The table's surface was crowded with tiny figurines, painted ships, monsters, magicians, cars, and markers of entire cliffs. Amos and the camouflage girl were so engrossed in their work, moving figurines across the map, they didn't notice us at first. Amos wore traditional linen robes, with his barrel-shaped figure It made him look a bit like Friar Tuck, except with darker skin and cooler hair. His braided locks were decorated with gold beads. Round glasses flashed as he studied the map. Draped up around his shoulders was the leopard skin cape over with the chief leopard. Oh, as for the young woman, oh gods of Egypt, it was Zia. I'd never seen her in mommy clothes before. She wore camouflage cargo pants, hiking boots, and an all-colored tank top that flattered her coppery skin. Her black hair was longer than I remembered. She looked so much more grown up and gorgeous than she'd been 6 months ago. I was glad Carter hadn't come along. He would have had difficulty picking his jaw from before. Yes, he would have called her. She looked quite stunning in a commander girl sort of way. Amos moved one of the figurines across the room. Here, he told Theo. Alright, he said, but these Harrison descended. Fair enough. Are we interrupting? Amos turned and broke into a grin. Sadie! He crushed me in a hug and rubbed my head affectionately. Ow! I said. Chuckle. I'm sorry, it's just so good to see you. That's that lean. And this is the accursed. She wedged herself between Amos and Leonid. He's one of the Russians. Why is he here? Calm down, I told her. He's a friend. He explained about Leonid's appearance at the dance. Leonid tried to help, but he kept slipping into Russian. Wait, Amos said. Let's make this easier. He touched Leonid's forehead. Medwar. The air above his tiger for speech turned red. Here's the house for speech. Medwar. Yeah, Amos said, that should help. Leonid's eyebrows. Shut up. You speak Russian? Amos smiled. Actually, for the next few minutes, we'll all be speaking ancient Egyptian. It will sound to each of us like our native tongue. Brilliant, I said. Leonid, you best make the most of your time. Leonid took off his army cap and quickly looked at them. Sir Jacoby and the lieutenant Clyde, they need to attack you. We know that, Amos said to us. No, you don't understand. You don't understand, Leonid says, come over with you. They are evil. They are working with the Pophis. That was a coincidence that he said that name. Several things on the world's map were melted. I felt very much the same way. Hold on, I said. Leonid, how do you know this? His ears turned pink. After the death of Menchikov, Jacoby and Clyde came to our gnome. We gave them refuge. Soon Jacoby took over, but my comrades did not object. They hate the caves very much. He looked at me guiltily. After you broke into our headquarters last spring, well, the other Russians blame you for Menchikov's death and the rise of the Pophis. They blame you for everything. Quite used to that, I said. You didn't feel the same? Pinched his oversized cap. I saw your power. You defeated the hairy monster. You could have destroyed me, but you didn't. You did not seem evil. Thanks for that. After we met, I became curious. I began reading scrolls, learning to channel the power of the god of Shu. I've always been a good air elementalist. Amos grunted. That took courage, Leonid. Exploring the path of the gods on your own in the middle of a Russian realm, you were very brave. I was foolhardy. Leonid's forehead was damp with sweat. Jacoby had killed magicians for lesser crimes. One of my friends, a little man named Mikhail, he once made the mistake of saying all Kane's might not be bad. Jacoby arrested him for treason. She gave him to Quai, who does magic with lightning. Terrible things. I heard Mikhail sitting in the dungeon for 3 nights before he died. Amos and Zeok exchanged grave looks. I had a feeling this wasn't the first time they heard about Quai's torture methods. I'm so sorry. Amos said, I didn't say that. Scrubby and Kyle wasn't for a personal. The young Russian climbed up 80 years. You trust Amos. I promise he'll protect you. He and the truth is that. Yesterday I was in one of the chambers deep under the hermitage, a place I thought was secret. I was studying a scroll of summon Shu, very forbidden magic. I heard Jacoby and Quai approaching, so I hid. I overheard the two of them speaking, but their voices were splintered. I don't know who I was explaining. They were possessed, Thea asked. Worse, Leonid said. They were each channeling dozens of voices. It was like a war council. I heard many monsters and demons, and presiding over the meeting was one voice deeper and more powerful than the rest. I'd never heard anything like it, as if darkness could speak. Amos said. Unit Martin turned very pale. Please understand, those magicians in St. Petersburg, they are not evil. They're only scared and desperate to survive. Jacoby has convinced them she won't save them. She has misled them with lies. She said the Kanes are demons, but she ain't wise. They are the monsters. They are no longer human. They have set up a camp at Abu Simbel. From there, they will lead the rebels against the first dome. Amos soon turned to the map. Traces being guilds south along the river Nile to a small lake. I said nothing at Abu Simbel. If they are, they manage themselves completely from my magic. They are there, Leonid promised. Yes, scowled. Under our very noses, within easy striking distance, we should have killed the rebels at Brooklyn House when we had the chance. Amos shook his head. We are servants of Ma'at, order and justice. We don't kill our enemies for things they might do in the future. And now our enemies will kill us, Thea said. On the table map, the 2 more figurines sparked and melted in Spain. A miniature ship broke into pieces off the coast of Japan. Amos grimaced. More losses. He chose a cobra figurine from Korea and pushed it toward the shipwreck. Stripped the melted magicians from Spain. What is that map? I asked. Thea moved the hieroglyphs spoken from Germany to Spain. Iskander's war map. As I once told you, I would use next to that statuary magic. I remember the old chief like that had been so good. He made a replica of Zia herself. Advised I not to bring that up. These tokens stand for actual forces.
That's enough music for now, lads.
I guess. Yes, Amos said. Map shows us our enemies' movements, at least most of them. It also allows us to send forces by magic to where they are needed. And how are we doing? This person told me all I needed to know. We are spread too thin, Amos said. Jacoby's followers strike wherever we are weakest. Our purpose sends its demons to terrorize our allies. The attack seems coordinated. Because they are, Leonid said. Quai and Jacoby are under Serpents' control.
Have you heard of this Bromley?
I shook my head with disbelief. How could Quai and Jacoby be so stupid? Don't they understand the purpose is going to destroy the world? Chaos is seductive, Amos said. No doubt the purpose has made them promises of power. He whispers in their ears, convincing them they are too important to be destroyed. They believe they can make the world a better place.
Why not?
Well,
And the change is worth any price, even mass annihilation. I didn't grasp how anyone could be so deluded, but Amos spoke as if he understood. Of course, Amos had been through this. He'd been possessed by Set, god of evil and chaos. Compared to a purpose, Set was a minor nuisance. but he's still been able to turn my uncle, one of the most powerful magicians in the world, into a helpless puppet. Scott and I hadn't defeated them and forced them to return to where we was. Well, the consequences wouldn't have been pretty. Leah picked up a falcon figurine. She scooted toward the booth in the little statue began to speak. She just wants to drop it. They've put up powerful wards, she said. You won't be able to eavesdrop. They will attack in 3 days. Leonid said, at the same time, a prophet will rise at dawn on the autumn equinox. Another equinox? Again, didn't that last bit of nastiness happen on one of those? He was just as have unhealthy obsessions with equinox. Amos gave me a stern look. Sadie, as I'm sure you're aware, the equinox is a time of great magical significance, when day and night are equal. Besides the autumn equinox marks the last day before darkness overtakes the light. It is the anniversary of Ra's retreat into the heavens. Feared that Apollos might make his move at that time. It's a most inauspicious day. Inauspicious? I frowned. But inauspicious is bad. But why would they? Oh. I realized for the force of the chaos, how bad days must have been their good days. Must have been really a lot of good days. Amos leaned on his staff. His head seemed to be turning gray before my eyes. I remembered Michel Desjardins, the last chief inspector, and how quickly he had aged. Couldn't bear the idea of that happening to Amos. We don't have the strength to defeat our enemies, he said. I will have to use other means. Amos, no, Dia said. Please! I wasn't sure what they were talking about. Dia sounded horrified, and anything that scared her I didn't want to know about. Actually, I said, God and I have a plan. I told them about our idea of using a prophet's own shadow against them. Perhaps saying this in front of Leonid was reckless, but he had risked his life to warn us about Sarah Jacoby's plans. He had trusted me. The least I could do was return the favor. When I finished explaining, Amos gazed at them in his mouth. I never heard of such a thing. How was it possible?
It was exciting at the start. Now we're halfway through.
It is, White insisted. I asked for the purpose to delay his doomsday attack so we could track down and destroy every scroll by this fellow's setman. Prophet is afraid we'll figure out the spell and stop him. Via crossed her arms. But you can't. You just said all copies were destroyed. The last toast will help. Carter's on, I said. Carter's on his way there now. In the meantime, I have an errand to run. I may have to be able to test our theory about shadows. How? Amos asked. I told him what I had in mind. Looked as if he wanted to object, but he must have seen the defiance in my eyes. We're related after all. You notice how stubborn Kane can be when they set their minds to something? Very well, he said. But first you must eat and rest. You leave at dawn. Yeah, I want you to go with her. He looked hard. Me? But I might. I mean, is it wise? Again, I got the feeling I'd missed an important conversation. What had Amos and Zia been discussing? You'll be fine, Amos assured her. Sadie, I need your help, and I will arrange for someone else to watch Ra during the day. She looked quite nervous, which wasn't like her. Zia and I had our differences in the past, but she'd never been short of confidence. And I felt worried for her. Cheer up, I told her. It'll be a laugh. Quick trip to the Netherworld, Fire Lake of Doom. What could go wrong? And with that, I end this chapter.